We're airborne. We're airborne. Gears up. And gears are up. Cutting back a little bit on power. I can't climb. Holy shit. Hey, this is DemonDriver here, and let's go ahead and let me run you through a play-by-play of the maiden flight of the L-1011. I think this is important. I'm back home, and I got back home from the flight field, and I'm running through. You know, I've been making the video here for this for you guys for YouTube and everything, and all my RC buddies, and I noticed something interesting about the L-1011, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell it to you after after I do this for you. But here is the actual takeoff run. Here we are back again, and let's go ahead and start. So I look down, you know, I'm getting a nice little bit of a headwind towards me, and everything seems good. Control surfaces seem good. Everything seems right. So I'm like, here we go. So I go ahead and advance the throttles, and away we go. I know right off the bat, I have the nose steering and the little twitchy on the directional steering, but I straighten it out pretty quick. Lots of power. I mean, I noticed that right off the bat. We got lots of power, and she's out of here. She's gone. She's flying. We're airborne. Gears up. Putting the gears are up. Putting the gears up. I'm feeling good. I'm in a nice. Now here's everything's fine. I'm in a climbing left turn. I'm happy. Everything's good. I got plenty of power. Put the gears up. I'm feeling good. Everything's looking good. Cutting back a little bit on power. I bring it back about 80%, 85% power. I've got two 2200 milliamp 6 volt, 6 cell 22 volt A-spec batteries with 130C burst. These are powerful batteries. These are easily going to give me a 2-minute, 30-second, 2-minute flight time. I got more than what I want. I'm good. I'm in the turn. I got plenty of speed. I've got a nice bank angle. Nothing too crazy. 15-20 degree bank angle. I'm happy. No worry about a stall. Now right here, I notice when I level out, I notice that she just starts to go into a descent. Right at this moment, she starts to descend, and you can see that in the video. You see it. And I'm thinking, what in the hell is going on here? I'm thinking, you know, have I lost control of the plane? Am I having a brownout? What's going on? You know, what am I looking at here? I can't climb. And I can't climb. I can't. And just as I'm starting to go behind the trees, I know this is how, for those of you who want to learn to fly out of line of sight where you can no longer see the plane, if your attitude is basically straight and level, okay, if your attitude is straight and level as you basically enter behind a surface, you know, behind trees or anything where you don't have obstruction, where, I mean, excuse me, you don't have view. If you're straight and level, your orientation is straight and level, where you begin to enter it and you lose sight, stay straight and level. Don't do any inputs. But at this point, I'm descending, so the only input I'm really giving is up elevator. That's it. I want to climb. I want to climb and get the hell out of this situation. This is a bad situation. I've gone from here to there. There I am right there. I can assume I'm behind the trees. I'm behind the tree line. That's what I'm all right, I'm behind the tree line. Chris, you're okay, but get altitude. Get this freaking plane climbing. Now, just as I start to enter behind the tree line and lose sight, I make sure that she's level with whatever 40-year-old eyesight I now have at the age of 40. I have to basically, you know, I'm doing whatever Svengali, Houdini, voodoo magic I'm doing to try and just find out, is she level? Is she turning towards me? Is she turning away from me? Is she level? That's the key. And she's level. So, all I want to do is climb. So, she's not climbing, so I do the only thing I really can do, and that's apply power. I apply full power. And right about there, I apply full flaps. Right at that moment, when I lose full sight, I crank down full flaps on my flaps dial, crank it down, full flaps, and I have full power. And the whole time I'm pulling up full elevator. I'm almost breaking the freaking control stem off the radio. She's behind the trees. I can't see this plane. I can only hear it at this point. Now, all this while, where this plane is behind this tree line, I'm waiting to hear a crunch or a smash, and then the engines die. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop here. I'm waiting for the last shoe to drop. I'm waiting for this plane to go in. What happens next, I'm not expecting. Trust me, I wasn't expecting this to happen. When I saw her pop out right there, I was shocked. And the biggest thing I was afraid of is her orientation. Is she in a turn? Is she still diving? Clearly she's gained altitude and she's in a better shape, and she's coming at me like this. Basically like this. I'm worried, is she like this? Is she inverted? Is she upside down? Is she on her way in? Is she stalling? What? Is she diving still? You know, that's what, with the full flaps down and at full power, I'm in good shape. I've got full up elevator, and I'm thinking, okay, now, at this point, I'm at full power with full flaps. You watch what happens, and you'll see for yourself. I can't just kill everything and land right now. I can't. Holy shit. There's my amazement of what I'm seeing. Alright, so I basically am heading back down to do a base to final, do my downwind leg, and come back around and clean everything up and land. But I know I'm in big trouble because I just don't have up input. I don't have up elevator. I mean, I'm doing everything I can to hold this altitude and just keep her where she's at and not descend anymore until I want to. So at this point, I pull back from 100% power to about 80% again, and I'm thinking, okay, we got full flaps. Let's try and mimic what we did on the takeoff on the climb out. Let's do that again, and let's get her back. But you know, I'm trying to climb. This whole time I'm trying to climb. I'm trying to get altitude and it's not working. It's just not working. And I start this turn, and I'm just trying to ease her into a nice shallow turn to get her back. And if I go straight, I'm going into the trees. Okay, if I go straight, I got two things. If I go straight, I go out of radio range, and I'm screwed. If I go straight, I'm going to hit trees. If I turn, I'm bringing her back around to land, and you got to remember, you got to keep her inside your radio envelope. You got to keep her inside that. You can't just keep flying out. This isn't FPV here. This is an FVP. I have to fly this thing visual line of sight with my own Mark 1 eyeball. I can't, you know, so I'm basically locked into bringing the plane back and staying within radio range. I can't go too far out. I know that. I got to keep this plane in the pattern. Okay, I have to. So I got to bring the plane back. So I start into this turn, and I notice it's over. It's over. It's just basically, I know if I cut throttle, it's going to dive even further because power is keeping me in the air. Even though I have full flaps down and I don't have, I just don't have the pitch up or down. I have down, I know that, but I just don't have enough up. Is she too tail heavy? Do I just not have enough elevator? Well, the answer becomes very, you know, gets, you know, bam. And I hear that sound of someone taking an axe and chopping into a tree, and I know what just happened. And, you know, there you have it. I mean, basically, I'm in a turn, left turn, and I have her gunned. And I probably, in hindsight, should have just chopped the throttles and let her go into the trees. But, you know, you hope... I mean, the last time around, I got beyond the trees, and I couldn't see it, and I saved it. I'm thinking I could do the same thing again. Obviously, I couldn't. So, that was basically what you got there. Hey, DemonDriver here. So, basically, what happened was... the plane hit the trees. The plane hit the trees doing 70. I mean, it was booking, and the trees were like a big dragnet. Okay, the plane hit the top of the trees, and the wings were caught the trees, and were basically the wing and the wing box broke off, and the fuselage stayed intact, and basically ended up in one tree, and the main fuselage, the wing section, ended up in the first tree, and then the fuse went to the second tree, and the EDFs, the 90mm shot out with the batteries and the I don't know where the speed controllers are. Actually, I never found the speed control. I don't know where they're probably still out there. Well, yeah, never saw the speed controllers, and the RX all flew out, and basically I go out there on foot, and I walk out there and try and find this plane. Actually, I drive out there, and I start walking around, and I'm walking through deep shrubs and forest and trees and everything, and I'm marching around like an idiot trying to find, I feel like an NTSB worker trying to find a crash site or something, and I'm, yeah, about an hour I'm walking around, just looking everywhere, trying to find a crumb, a bit, something shiny, a piece of foam, something. And then after a while, I call Vance, and I'm like, Vance, I'm crawling. Yeah, he's a RC flyer at our field, friend of mine, Kershaw County. I call him, then he calls Brad, a new member of ours. He's in my Orion shuttle video, and he's like, Vance comes out, Brad comes out, gets a, he's got a chainsaw, good 18, 19-inch chainsaw. We do what we got to do, you know what I'm saying, and we find the plane that's up in a tree 30, 40 feet up, and we got to do the trees, we get the plane down, damages, you know, but it's all repairable, trust me. My Pan Am L-1011-500 will return, the damage will be repaired. She's going to have brand new wings, and a brand new wing box made from lighter EP foam. She's going to come back as a better plane. So in a few months, it'll be back and better than ever. And that's the good part. That's the important. Long story short, Brad, me, and Vance got all the parts down of the L-1011, And basically the good news is it's all, with exception to the wing in the wing box, the fuselage is repairable, and it will be repaired. And I'm doing a new process now where I'm using lightweight EP foam, and I'm hot wiring the wings now, as opposed to the old sandwich method made from I think 3mm Depron. I'm using a new method with a hot wired wing with a better, more efficient, higher lift airfoil, and that's what I'm going to do with the L-1011-500. Now, I noticed something interesting when I have the L-1011-500 actually right now on the back of my truck, and when it was in there, I looked at the tail section, the elevators, and I looked at the I looked at the stabilizer in the elevator, and I looked at the actual elevator portion, and I noticed that the right elevator was in the neutral position, but the left elevator was full up. It was deflected all the way up, and that bothered me. And I sat there and I looked at it, and I said, "Why is that?" So I connected up. I got a Y connector and connected up because the servo leads had been pulled off. Now they weren't damaged. They didn't appear to be damaged. The leads or the servos were still intact in their servo harnesses in the stabilizer. They were there, locked in, good. The linkages were good. But I noticed that the right stabilizer was neutral, and the left one was up. And I said to myself, that's weird. So I hooked them both up, and turns out, I don't know if this happened in the crash, but the right stabilizer was locked and bounded. It was, it was jammed. And I believe it or not, I didn't have Coronas in there. I had Tower Pros. I had Tower Pro Metal Gear servos, and I learned the hard way that they're not good servos. They bind up. And I think what happened, I think that the right elevator failed in flight. It just jammed. Not long after the takeoff and my turnout and my left climbing turn, that elevator jammed. And I only had the left elevator to give me actual up. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think that happened in the crash. I don't think it jammed up in the crash. It may have, but if it did jam up in the crash, if it did jam up in the crash, the main culprit is this. And let me show you the other L-1011, and I'm going to show you a flaw that I think I've found in this design, and this is why these planes, why the prototypes are so important. This is the ANA L-1011. Basically, the whole tail section is identical to the 500. The only difference is the longer fuselage length and the longer wingspan. Identical. Here's the culprit. If that servo didn't jam, if one of those servos didn't jam in the neutral position, what the main flaw is that this whole control surface is too small. This whole control surface, this whole elevator is simply too small. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough to basically give pitch, up and down pitch. It's just not enough. I'm going to have to basically double the size of the elevator. And on the real L-1011, it has a flying tail. The whole tail, when you see the plane rotate, the tail goes like that. The entire, the stabilizer or stabler flying tail goes, it actually, along with the actual elevator, giving an up input. So I don't have that on this, but this is too small. So for the ANA, see, I've learned something here. With the 500's malfunction and crashing into the tops of trees because I didn't have any up elevator, I know now to basically give the ANA L-1011 a significantly larger control surface or elevator so that I have more deflection. That's if that right servo didn't fail. I mean, regardless, I'm going to make that modification. And I'm going to make sure that the CG is completely perfect so that if the 500 was actually nose heavy, along with not enough control surface and not enough actual deflection, and outside a failed right servo in the elevator, I have to make this correction. So the actual failure of the 500, you know, in its elevator problem, will teach me and show me and help me get this L-1011 flying perfectly, and I don't have the problem. I don't have the same problem, and I correct that problem, and I don't repeat it. I don't repeat that mistake. And hey, well, that was the L-1011 flight, and basically, you know, I learned a lot from this flight. I learned a lot that, you know, I learned that the plane loves to fly, but I am probably going to need larger elevator control surfaces. I'm going to need definitely make sure that the servos, the actuator servos for the elevators are working perfectly, and I'm going to make sure that the plane is not tail heavy. And everything I learned from the 500 flight today is being transferred to the ANA L-1011. I'm going to make sure that I don't repeat the mistakes for that plane. There might be a whole new batch of mistakes for that plane, I don't know. But I'm definitely going to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, fine-tooth razor blade, and make sure that I don't repeat the mistakes that I made with the L-1011-500 on this plane. But the beauty of it is, what you saw today, you're like, dude, Chris, whoa, oh, you lost the plane, it's gone. No, not at all. Not at all. The plane will be repaired, and while this L-1011 is rocking in the sky, the L-1011-500 Pan Am will be repaired, fixed. It will come back better than new. It'll come back better than ever. It'll be lighter. It'll have a more efficient airfoil and wing. Trust me, it's not the end by a long shot for the L-1011-500. It will be back. And then probably in a week, I'll post some photos in RC groups of the repair process and everything. Trust me, the plane is not destroyed. The wing is destroyed, but the fuselage and a lot of other things are fine. And they'll be repaired, not a big deal. Let me tell you a secret. You know the 767-200 that you said that you see the Maiden video and the cool second video and all that fun stuff. That's actually the first Maiden video. That wasn't the first Maiden video. There was an earlier Maiden video and crash. That plane was almost totaled. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Well, I'm telling you right now. Yeah, and I completely repaired it, totally fixed it, and like did a Soviet Union, Soviet space program move and like pretended like the first Maiden didn't happen. And then I did the first official Maiden and is like, yeah, all wonderful, everything's fine. But just to be honest with you, that wasn't the first Maiden. But that kind of stuff happens. And you would think a plane is destroyed and it gets ruined and oh, forget about it. But if you build them tough and you build them strong and you build them resilient, they always come back. And the L-1011-500 is down for the moment, but it will be back, and there'll be more videos, and we'll have the L-1011 ANA coming up next. That'll be the next Maiden flight. And all I'm telling you is this channel is here for all of us to have fun and to celebrate RC airplanes, airliners, fighter jets, planes, and I take what little I know and what I've learned over the last, over the years, and try to help you, because so many of you and so many other builders help me, and I learn things from them, and you learn things from me, we learn things from each other, and we have so much fun. You don't know how much fun I had out there today flying an L-1011-500, a scratch-built, handmade L-1011-500, seeing it fly over my head. I mean, even though it ended up as a lawn dart in a tree, still, I had a blast. I had a blast, man. It was so much fun. So much fun. So, please, pick up the razor and some foam and some epoxy and start building. Please, I implore you, I beg you. You want to feel one of the coolest highs you'll ever feel in your life, you want to start building. It opens up something within you. Something sleeping within you is opened, and you can experience that that feeling of accomplishment, of achievement. You could share it with your family, your kids, and they can learn. And it just becomes something, it's like a universe and a world that is unlocked, that is hidden within yourself, and you can unlock it, and you can bring yourself into this awesome hobby and just have a blast. Yeah, but at the end of the day, even if you crash your plane or whatever, you're still hooked and you still love it. And yeah, you get depressed. Yeah, it's tough. But at the end of the day, you're back out there and you're doing it again. And I'll be back out there with the other L-1011, and I'll be back out there one day with this Tu-134, and I'll be back out there with the Metroliner again, and I'll be back out there with fighter jets and all this other cool stuff, because I don't give up. I am an RC Terminator. I'm an RC Terminator. Trust me, I don't give up. You know, I really don't give up. I just keep going until I get everything I want built for customers, for people. I mean, I do this for a living. So this is what I do. This is my profession. My office space is here and in the RC and the flight field. That's what I do. And you know, sometimes the planes do exactly what you want, sometimes they don't. Welcome to this hobby. That's life. So this is DemonDriver here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. But get ready for another L-1011 coming up. I'm not going to repeat the same mistakes. I'm going to learn and take to heart what this flight showed me, and everything I learned is going into that L-1011. I'm not going to make the same mistakes twice. Not doing it. So, hey, biggest tip I can give you is build two. If you're scratch building an RC airplane, build two. Don't build just one. Build two. Don't put all your RC eggs in one RC basket, because that's depression. When you lose everything, you don't have the second plane, that's depression. So you don't want to go there. This is DemonDriver. Thank you for joining me. This is DemonDriver here, and I'm looking for my plane. Here, TriStar. Echo, echo, echo. Nothing. I got nothing. I don't know where the damn thing is. I'm afraid to mess with the throttles. I don't want to start a fire if one of the batteries is blown. I've seen that happen. A battery gets ruptured and it goes up. What is that? Somebody walking. Hello? Deer. My plane came down in this area over in here somewhere. I mean, if I can find some debris, I don't want to find debris. I would love for the plane to be in one piece in a tree. That's fine. Sun is going down. It's about 3:30. This is not good. It's got to be in here somewhere. I combed the other area and there's nothing. I got my radio here, that way I don't break lock so an engine doesn't start running. I'm telling you folks, I wouldn't be doing this shit at night. If I don't find this plane by nightfall, too bad. All I gotta do is find some debris, something. Some breadcrumbs. It's in here somewhere.
Fly, dude.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Hey, this is DemonDriver with my friend Vance here, a flyer at Kershaw County, and the L-1011 went straight in. It went straight in through the treetops, through the chimney tops. No, it went through the treetops, and she basically clipped, and she stopped in 2 trees. And the brake is clean. I got the forward fuselage from the start of the intake forward is fine up in one tree, and then the tail section is in another tree, and the wings are with that, you know, together in the tree, and everything is basically together. Everything was a clean brake, and I got the lower tail section just dropped off, and it's, as you can see, it's fine. You know, it's held on by magnets, and it's fine. The batteries, dropped out in there, with exception to a small slit, and I'm going to have to examine that and see if they were punctured. But they seem to be fine. And Vance didn't seem to think it was too bad. I mean, it looks okay. It's definitely, the wing box is probably destroyed, but I have molds for everything, so I can rebuild this plane with no problem. But it flies, that's a good thing. Now we gotta get some chainsaws and some stuff, and we gotta start cutting. Be some forestry men out here and lumberjacks cutting down some trees to get an L-1011. I hope we're gonna get in trouble for doing that, or?
No, I don't think so. All
right, I hope not. So you see two RC pilots in Kershaw County get arrested and thrown in jail. Trying to get it.
Bail money.
Hey, forestry ranger, yeah, we got an L-1011 up there, and we got to get it out. So I mean, we're gonna cut down some of your trees. You don't mind, do you? Nah. Okay. But this DemonDriver and the L-1011 flies, thank God. Not enough elevator, not enough up elevator. Problem has to be corrected for the A and A L-1011 before. But see, you learn stuff. This is, you learn stuff. It's a painful lesson, but you learn things. So L-1011 maiden flight, and now we have to get it out of some trees. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I wonder if it just fell out of the tree. That's not good. But it seems to be okay. I hope no chipmunks or
I hope
raccoons like turn it into a nest. Now, this is DemonDriver, and this is Vance, and that was the L-1011 maiden flight. Thank you for watching. God bless. Bye-bye. Yeah. Well, this is DemonDriver here, and we got Brad, the master toolsman. We got Vance, and we're going to try and chop the plane down, chop the tree down that the plane is in. And we're losing daylight, but we might be able to do it. We might be able to pull it off. The plane does not appear to be that damaged. That's the good part.
I'm going to put on a little light coat here, guys. All right. Well, I'm going to pull back over that way because we're going to have to go down that road.
Brad, I appreciate this.
Hey, man, no problem.